Wow, that was really cool.
Yeah,
it was very different.
I think it's really unique.
It was very unique.
Again, I really like the different sound design elements that go into it. One of the ones that I obsess over, and it's such a small little element, but it's like right before like the rest of the beat drops in, there's that wow thing. Yeah. I'm just like, it's so cool. Much fun.
Sound design elements for sure. But yeah, like a lot of different kind of stuff working together that you wouldn't necessarily always like expect. Like that big rave synth that just kind of comes in like out of nowhere. But the cool like jungly kind of like mallet sounds that were and like bloops that were in the beginning, along with like the claps and snaps, like those more natural sounding percussion elements. I really liked his voice though. It was very distinct and unique, and like you could definitely if he were to make I shouldn't say if he were to make more tracks, I'm sure he does have more tracks, but it's like you could tell that that's that artist though when listening to it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and one of the things that I really like about what he does vocally on this song is that a lot of the song is delivered in a kind of like monotone way. It sounds very similar.
Yeah, and he's not like going all over doing like vocal runs with a bunch of different notes and stuff.
And then there's the one part where it goes into like a different part of his register, and then you got that bit, and I think that it's really cool because it adds a lot of energy that wasn't there just from the vocals. Like you don't even need to add any more like there weren't really a whole lot of other like instrumental elements that were added in that part, but it felt like it just had so much more energy because there's more swagger in that delivery. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, and you had mentioned like the 4-minute shifts and stuff like that too. Really making a cool effect to take it to the next level. And there's also like the use of or just like when he used it, it's not the whole time, it's just like in those elements right before like the transition to the next phrase, whatever, that kind of really makes it a little more dynamic.
I really like using effects like that as a way to highlight a specific line. You've got like this one lyric, and it's like you don't necessarily need to double all of the
like the entire verse
in the verse, but you're like, oh, but this one lyric I want to have a little bit more weight, and so you double it, or you put a Foreman shifter on it, or something like that. And I think that that's a really cool way to again add emphasis to things without being like too heavy-handed about it. I mean, it is a little bit heavy-handed. You're manipulating the vocals, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was cool though. It definitely stood out to me. Like it was very unique. Kind of like minimal too, to a certain extent. There wasn't too much complexity involved, but the elements that were there were like the right choices.
Yeah.
And they all worked well together.
Again, I think the same energy a lot of the song, but it's still very dynamic because those different elements are coming in and out, like the harder like sawtooth bass, versus like those
like the prettier synths that were kind of in the intro.
Yeah, the little plinky mallet
more like
kind of
sine
sound
waves
like
kind
you
of.
were talking about. Yeah, I think that the knowledge of different kinds of synthesizers gets shown off a lot in this. Like the sound design is phenomenal. I think it's really cool.
I agree.
So what do we have up next?
All right, up next, let's do, I'm going to touch on Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth,
has been mentioned a couple of times already in this podcast as well. He's phenomenally talented as well. I think everything he puts out is always good, but he definitely has a unique sound. I think very distinct. Like every track you hear, you're like, yep, that's Spaceship Earth. But it's actually his most recent one. It's Near Death Experience.
Gotcha.
That he just, I want to say it was October, I think, end of October.
Yep.
He just came out with it. So yeah, pretty recent.
Like.
But yeah, not to touch too much on his own personal story, because I mean, I guess that's his story to tell and not necessarily mine, but he definitely has overcome a lot in the last few years. And he always primarily makes music with a message, and like all of his songs definitely come from like something that he's gone through and like an experience in his life, I feel like. So this one definitely has a really deep message to it, on top of it just being a good song and him being a really talented producer and guitarist.
I was going to say, based on the song that you did together, I'm really looking forward to this because the guitar work on that song is insane. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.